Hi, and welcome back to another episode of O's Academy. Today, we'll be going over slider creation basics. Before we get started, if you haven't seen the previous episode that deals with the basics of the editor, you should go and watch that first. Now, let's jump into making some sliders. Creating a visually appealing slider has been made fairly easy as of late with the new slider creation algorithm. It always makes sure you have a perfect curve, no matter what, as long as you always use 3 points. But if you want to use more than 3 points, this guide will show you how to do so. When making sliders, I find it easier to use the center of the grid when creating a certain shape, and then moving it in place later. I'll go over some shapes with you really fast. I'll go over a few common slider shapes used. First, we'll start off with an S or wave shape slider. To create a wave slider, you'll make 2 triangles, using your red point as your center and placing the next triangle upside down. Now that I've gotten that done, we'll go on to what I'd like to call a fishhook slider. Now these sliders are basically a straight slider with a hook at the end, or a smooth curve. What you'll want to do is you start off setting it straight, using a red anchor point in the center, and then following it out with white anchor points to make it curve better. My curve's not the best, but you can always go back and edit it later. We also have the circle-shaped slider. These are fairly easy to make now with the 3-point system. You'll start at one point, setting the other point wherever you really want, and the third point as close as possible to the other point to create the circle. You can play around with the arc till you get it to the size that you need. And the last shape I'll go over is arrow points. They sometimes are smooth, curved small sliders, but they start with a white point, a red point, and then another white point. I'll go ahead and show you right now. And now, basically, the difference between these is sliders that use white points exclusively will generally always appear smoother, whereas sliders with anchor points that have red points will usually have sharp bends. As for making a slider repeat, it is quite easy. Once you've set in your slider to a point you're happy with, go to the top of the timeline and grab the slider. Your end of the cursor should change to indicate that you can pull it, and pull it across the timeline to the where you want it to go, and it will repeat. Now you can do this as much as you like, but sometimes it'll be seen bad in a map if it repeats too many times, so try to limit the use of that. Well, that's all from us here at the Academy. We hope to see you real soon.